What's going on, everybody? So as we wrap up Week 14 in the National Football League with Monday Night Football with the Dolphins and the Patriots, a lot of you were shocked, pretty much because your playoffs started in fantasy football, and you're like, okay, Tom Brady, what are you going to do? And he goes out there and does that. Let me explain to you something in regards to this actual game against the Dolphins, why you shouldn't be shocked. Tom Brady typically struggles against the Dolphins, and primarily because he gets the pressure up front. Now, Ndamukong Suh, he's a savage. You guys all know about him. The dude is quick to stomp you in the face with his cleats and do other things along those lines. The only thing that you can really do to slow down Tom Brady is pressure up the middle. The edge doesn't really matter. He's going to always step up in the pocket and do whatever he wants. Now, they were able to successfully do this last night, and Jay Cutler was able to actually outplay Tom Brady because the defense is still questionable. Now, before we make a big deal about this, it's good. Like, I always tell people this. Whenever you're dealing with the NFL, right, you're going to have bad losses to bum teams. It's better to have those losses during the regular season than to go into the playoffs when you're one and done. So if I'm a Patriot fan, I'm not really worried about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, Tom Brady typically, he goes through the situation with the Dolphins. All right, we're going to go ahead and figure out what's going on, and we're going to make sure that he plays better the next week. We're not going to use the excuse that he's 40, because the dude has been playing unbelievable the entire season, and he still walked off the field, unlike a lot of these other athletes that are way younger than him that can't stay healthy. So we're not even going to go to that part. We're going to go ahead and we're going to give the Dolphins credit because they played him the way they're supposed to play him. You get that pressure up the middle. You play physical with the receivers. It's not much that they can do afterwards, and this is the biggest issue that Tom Brady has always had. He has very, very good foot movement. But when you look at his 2 Super Bowl losses, you might say to yourself, yeah, but those guys were fast off the edge. Strahan, you had one with Osi Umenyiora. Those are very, very fast D linemen. They adjusted sometimes. They had good, they had decent D tackles that can get a push. And those guys are just so strong and fast. It was just straight collapse of the pocket. Similar to what the Denver Broncos did to him. You understand what I'm saying? Obviously, the Denver Broncos thought it was smart to start getting rid of their core players on the D-line, and we see what happened with them now. They pretty much suck. But looking forward to next week, right, they play the Steelers. It's not going to be the same Patriot team that you saw out there on the field last night. So I just want to make sure you guys understand that. Whether this was designed for a loss or whatever it was, Tom Brady played horrible. And yeah, we rarely say that, but yeah, it happens. The guy actually happens to be human, as great as he is. And he did also apologize to offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels for his explosion on the sideline. I guess it was like, maybe media backlash. Because honestly, if you really think about it, I don't really think Tom Brady meant it. You know what I'm saying? And I understand the perception of it, and I understand when people are making things like, yeah, if Cam Newton does it and all this other stuff. We have to understand something, right? In the world of sports, you get away with more the better you are. And it's just the reality of it. It's never going to change. Nobody's ever going to treat a guy that's on special teams the same way as a star. It's not going to happen. So I understand as far as Tom Brady's anger. It's sort of like this, right? If you're a great athlete and you know you messed up, and coming right off while you're already mad at yourself, someone tells you, yo, you messed up. Depending on the way your tolerance is, you're probably going to be very, very upset. So in regards to Tom Brady doing that, I'm not saying it's okay, and I'm not making any excuses for him. All I'm saying is that Josh McDaniels, if he's Bill Belichick, I have an issue with it if he does it to Bill Belichick. You see what I'm saying? Josh McDaniels, the reason that I don't understand why he would do that is because he has to see and visibly understand that he's already upset. Why not wait until later? You see what I'm saying? Like, if people want to say Tom Brady could have took it behind closed doors, couldn't Josh McDaniels do the same thing? That's all I'm saying, bro. And again, I'm not defending his actions, and I'm very, very happy that he decided to apologize to him, even though I don't think that he meant it. But sometimes it's just the thought of the apology and saying it that matters. It doesn't really matter if you actually mean it. So that's probably what happened there. All right. So look now, when you take a look at Shaq Mason and you see the offensive line of the Patriots, you have to understand that Ndamukong Suh is like a wild, savage lion looking at hyenas from the Lion King. Like, he's not even, these dudes can't block him. So that's going to be gap pressure. Like, just imagine this, right? You know why the Rams and the Patriots would probably also be a good Super Bowl matchup if the Rams were able to pull it out? because their D-line, Aaron Donald and those guys, that you're getting pressure up the middle immediately. They would struggle against teams like that. Any team with good D tackles, the Patriots are going to struggle against because their O-line sucks. People don't really understand how much Tom Brady has been able to do with a mediocre O-line. The same way with the Seattle Seahawks. People don't realize how garbage that O-line is and what Russell Wilson is able to do even with the O-line being like that. Okay? When you look at the way they lost to the Jaguars, if Russell Wilson has a better O-line, he doesn't lose to the Jaguars. He has to make throws with great corners in Boye and Ramsey without the time that he needs. What do you want him to do? You see what I'm saying? Like just start going down the line and looking at, who has good D-line. Pretty much right now, even with the Cowboys, their O-line is not really playing up to par. But if you give that O-line to Tom Brady, this is a different game. If you give the O-line to Russell Wilson, it's a different game. It's different type of situations, but people only tend to pay attention to specific quarterbacks and not always give the credit where it's due for the guys that actually go out there and make plays regardless. You see what I'm saying? Because the O-line has been like a shuffleboard with the Patriots all year. But we're not going to hear that much about it because a lot of people don't like Tom Brady or whatever it is. But their O-line sucks. And they do a great job of mixing and matching and putting guys where they think it might work. But at the end of the day, it's going to show. If you play against a team that can rush the passer, bro, it's going to show that your O-line sucks. Now, the Dolphins are not really a team that have a chance to do anything. So I don't feel that it's necessary to talk about them going forward. Jay Cutler signed a 1-year deal. So he's not coming back, I don't think, unless they want to have, whatever. He played well last night, but Jay Cutler, his entire career, has been an underachiever. So there's really nothing on the bright side of the Dolphins. This is just more of, the Patriots lost. That's what this was about. Like, I couldn't believe what was going on. And again, I have friends that have Tom Brady starting in their playoffs, and they're like, yo, bro, what is this? Because if I had Tom Brady, I would feel very, very comfortable in this game, and it didn't turn out to be that way. So again, the Dolphins they have a very, very good core of wide receivers, but the quarterback position is still screwed. I don't know what's going to happen with that. So we don't really need to delve into that. We need to start talking about what's going to be happening next week with the Steelers. Now, the Steelers don't really have a really, really formidable set of D tackles. Well, they run a 3-4, so they got that one solid D tackle, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get that push, and I don't think secondary-wise that they're going to be able to play the receivers the way the Dolphins were able to do it last night. I'm just looking forward to that situation, primarily because now you have an angry Tom Brady coming, okay? So an angry Tom Brady is going there, okay? With this happening, you guys have to understand that not only is he going to try to be perfect against this team, but he's going to want to upstand his name and have something to prove, because I'm not saying that the Patriots played down to their competition or look past the Dolphins, but sometimes these losses happen, and we have to be able to deal with it during the season and make sure it doesn't happen in the playoffs. And that's the one thing you have to give veteran teams credit for, that they're able to lose now and, figure it out in the playoffs. The only thing about this, though, is that if I was going to try to correlate it to the way the Eagles lost, not this week when they just won with Foles, but the week prior when they lost the game, it happens. They lose games, but they lost it in the regular season. The only problem is now they lost Wentz, so I can't use the same correlation because they're probably going to. I don't believe in Foles. I don't really care. I don't believe in him, so that's not going to happen with that situation. But it's going to show a lot next week with the Steelers and the Patriots, because if the Patriots lose 2 in a row and they lose to the Steelers and then they have to play them in the playoffs, you don't want to give these guys false confidence. All right? So all in all, we're going to chalk this up to a loss for Tom Brady and the Patriots. But again, what do you really learn from the actual game is something that you should have already known. Pressure up the middle on Tom Brady is going to beat him 98% of the time. It's just a fact. So I wasn't shocked about it once I saw it. Ndamukong Suh was eating, bro. And that's primarily why they paid him that money. He's not going to be that major guy every day, but he'll make plays like this when he has a bum O-line. And that's pretty much what it is. In all honesty, Jay Cutler outplayed Tom Brady last night. Congratulations to the Dolphins, but we all know they're not going anywhere this year. I want to thank you guys and girls for listening to my podcast. Make sure that you listen live and download iTunes, Android, and iHeartRadio. Just simply search GmiasWorld, and it will pop up for free for your download on the go. Until next time, one love.